Hello Army, welcome back to my channel. Today we're circling back to something genuinely heartwarming that's been circulating within fan spaces, a moment where V, speaking candidly about his fellow member and longtime close friend Jimin, touched on something that so many of us have witnessed and admired for years now, Jimin's absolutely relentless commitment to giving everything he has, every single time he steps onto a stage. Let's talk through what's been shared, why this specific observation resonates so deeply with longtime fans, and what it reveals about the kind of performer Jimin has consistently proven himself to be throughout his entire career. So let's start with what's actually been circulating, because I want to be upfront with you about where this specific content comes from. This particular moment has been shared and documented by fan accounts online, showing members discussing how Jimin consistently gives what's been described as 110% of his energy whenever he's performing. The specific phrase that's been circulating captures this sentiment perfectly, with the general idea being that everyone within the group already knows and accepts as simply an established fact that Jimin gives absolutely everything he has, every single time he's on that stage. Let's talk about why this particular observation, especially coming from someone as close to Jimin as V, carries so much genuine weight and significance. V and Jimin have one of the most well-documented, deeply established friendships within the entire group, a bond that's been referenced and celebrated by fans for years, often affectionately labeled with that vmin nickname that's become such a beloved shorthand for their specific relationship within the broader group dynamic. When someone with that level of closeness and first-hand daily experience specifically speaks to Jimin's work ethic and performance intensity, that's not some outside observer making assumptions based on watching a few concert clips. That's someone who's genuinely witnessed this dedication up close, day after day, throughout years of shared experiences both on and off the stage. Let's think about what it actually means, practically speaking, to consistently give 110% of your energy during a performance. That specific framing suggests something beyond just simply showing up and executing choreography competently. It suggests this idea of consistently pushing past whatever might be considered a normal, sustainable baseline effort, finding additional reserves of energy and commitment even when logic might suggest holding something back, particularly during an extended touring cycle involving night after night of physically demanding performances across multiple continents. Let's connect this specific observation to everything we've already documented throughout this entire comeback year regarding Jimin's consistent performance excellence across countless different contexts. We've talked extensively about his historic World Cup final halftime show performance, about specific moments during this current world tour where his individual leadership and energy have been specifically singled out by professional music journalists, about his continued dedication even during genuinely challenging circumstances like extreme heat and humidity during various American tour stops. Each of these individual data points, when considered alongside this specific observation from V about his consistent, maximum effort approach to performing, paints this incredibly cohesive, comprehensive picture of an artist whose commitment to giving everything during live performance represents a defining, consistent characteristic of his entire approach to his craft. Let's think about why this kind of consistent, maximum effort approach to performing tends to resonate so deeply with fans, beyond just simple appreciation for hard work in the abstract. There's something genuinely inspiring about witnessing this level of sustained dedication, particularly within an industry and touring schedule as demanding as what BTS has undertaken throughout this current comeback era. It would be entirely understandable, and honestly expected, for any performer to occasionally hold something back during less significant shows, saving maximum energy for the biggest, most high-profile moments specifically. But having a bandmate specifically point out that this isn't how Jimin approaches performing at all, that giving everything represents his baseline, default approach regardless of the specific occasion, speaks to something genuinely admirable about his fundamental relationship with his craft. Let's also think about the broader significance of this kind of internal, member-to-member recognition and appreciation, separate from external fan praise or professional media coverage. When your own bandmates, people who see you at your most exhausted, most vulnerable, most unguarded moments throughout years of shared experience, specifically choose to highlight and celebrate your work ethic and performance dedication, that carries a genuinely different kind of weight compared to praise coming from outside observers who only witness the polished, public-facing version of your performances. Let's think about the physical toll that this kind of consistent, maximum effort approach to performing likely takes over an extended touring cycle like the one we've documented so extensively throughout this entire year. We've discussed the challenging heat and humidity conditions during various American tour stops, the physically demanding choreography throughout this tour's setlist, and the sheer scale of this touring schedule spanning multiple continents over an extended period. Choosing to consistently give 110% under these already demanding conditions, rather than strategically conserving energy for specific high-profile moments, represents a genuinely significant physical commitment that likely requires substantial ongoing physical conditioning and recovery discipline behind the scenes. Let's also touch on what this specific quality might reveal about Jimin's broader relationship with his audience and his sense of responsibility as a performer. Consistently giving everything, regardless of the specific venue, city, or significance of any particular show, suggests a genuine belief that every single audience deserves that same maximum level of commitment and effort, rather than reserving that intensity exclusively for the biggest, most heavily publicized moments. That kind of consistent respect for every individual audience, treating each show as deserving of full effort regardless of its relative significance within a broader touring schedule, reflects a genuinely admirable approach to the fundamental relationship between performer and audience. Let's think about how this specific characteristic connects to the broader narrative we've documented throughout this entire comeback year regarding Jimin's individual reputation and recognition as a performer. We've discussed extensively how professional music journalists have specifically singled out his choreographic leadership and stage presence throughout various stops on this tour. We've talked about how his vocal performances have received specific praise from major American publications. All of this external recognition and praise makes considerably more sense when you understand that it's built on this foundational, consistent approach of giving maximum effort during literally every single performance opportunity, rather than simply having occasional standout moments scattered throughout an otherwise average overall performance pattern. Let's also spend some time thinking about the broader significance of fans specifically choosing to document and celebrate these kinds of behind-the-scenes glimpses into how the members discuss and perceive each other's work ethic and dedication. This kind of content offers this genuinely meaningful window into the internal dynamics and mutual respect that exists within the group, beyond just what audiences typically get to witness through official, polished promotional content or carefully produced performance footage. Having V specifically articulate this observation about Jimin's consistent performance intensity provides fans with this additional layer of insight into how these 7 members genuinely perceive and appreciate each other's individual contributions and work ethic. Let's think about the broader emotional significance this kind of peer recognition likely carries for Jimin himself, beyond just how it resonates with fans observing this exchange from the outside. Having your closest friends and longtime collaborators specifically acknowledge and articulate your consistent dedication and work ethic, rather than simply taking that effort for granted as an unspoken expectation, likely provides genuine validation and appreciation that extends beyond whatever external recognition might come from professional critics or general audience reception. Let's also touch on how this specific characteristic, this consistent commitment to maximum effort regardless of circumstances, likely connects to broader themes we've discussed throughout this entire comeback year regarding the group's post-military service return to large-scale touring and performance. Coming back from an extended period away from this level of collective performance activity, there's likely been genuine additional motivation to demonstrate that same level of commitment and dedication that originally built this group's reputation and connection with fans, ensuring that this comeback era lives up to the standards and expectations that fans have come to associate with this group throughout their entire career together. Let's think about what this specific quality might mean for how fans continue processing and appreciating Jimin's individual contributions throughout the remainder of this extensive touring cycle, given everything we've documented regarding the physically demanding schedule still ahead across additional major stadium venues. Knowing that this consistent, maximum effort approach represents his fundamental baseline rather than an occasional exception likely adds additional appreciation and understanding to how fans experience and interpret his individual performances at each subsequent tour stop throughout this remaining schedule. Let's also spend some time discussing the broader significance of this kind of internal group dynamic and mutual appreciation within the context of BTS's overall reputation and public image throughout their entire career. This group has consistently been recognized, both by fans and by external media coverage, for maintaining genuinely close, supportive relationships among all 7 members, extending well beyond simply professional collaboration into something resembling genuine, deep friendship and mutual respect. This specific moment, with V specifically articulating appreciation for Jimin's consistent performance dedication, fits naturally within that broader, well-established pattern of genuine interpersonal warmth and mutual admiration that's continued defining this group's internal dynamic throughout their entire career together. Let's think about the broader implications of this kind of observation for understanding just how sustainable and consistent Jimin's individual performance excellence has remained throughout this incredibly demanding comeback year specifically. We've documented so many individual instances throughout this year of his consistently praised performances across wildly different contexts, from the World Cup halftime show, to numerous stops on this world tour, to various individual recognition moments from professional media outlets. Understanding that this level of excellence stems from this consistent, deliberate choice to give maximum effort during every single performance opportunity, rather than simply representing occasional standout moments, helps explain the remarkable consistency of that individual recognition and praise throughout this entire period. Let's also touch on what this specific quality might suggest about broader lessons regarding professional dedication and work ethic more generally, extending beyond just the specific context of live musical performance. There's something genuinely instructive about witnessing this consistent commitment to maximum effort, regardless of external circumstances or the relative significance of any particular opportunity, a quality that resonates as admirable and inspiring well beyond just the specific context of K-pop performance or entertainment industry work more broadly. Let's think about the broader pattern of fans specifically gravitating toward and celebrating these kinds of glimpses into genuine, unscripted interpersonal dynamics between group members, rather than exclusively focusing on officially produced promotional content or carefully curated public statements. This preference for authentic, spontaneous moments of genuine appreciation and observation between close friends and collaborators speaks to something meaningful about what fans genuinely value most within their engagement with this group, prioritizing authentic human connection and mutual respect over purely polished, professionally managed public messaging. Let's also spend some time thinking about how this specific moment fits within the broader collection of similar instances we've documented throughout this entire comeback year, where members have spoken publicly or semi-publicly about their appreciation and admiration for each other's individual contributions and qualities. This pattern of genuine, ongoing mutual appreciation among the members continues reinforcing the broader narrative of this group's exceptional interpersonal chemistry and genuine friendship, qualities that have remained remarkably consistent throughout their entire career together, even through the significant disruption of their extended military service hiatus. Let's think about what this consistent theme of maximum effort and dedication might mean for how BTS approaches the remainder of this extensive touring cycle, given everything we know about the demanding schedule still ahead throughout the remaining American stops and beyond. If this consistent, maximum effort approach genuinely represents Jimin's fundamental baseline, as V's comments specifically suggest, fans can likely continue expecting this same level of dedicated, all-in commitment throughout every remaining stop on this tour, regardless of how demanding the cumulative physical toll of this extended touring schedule inevitably becomes. Let's also touch on the broader significance of this kind of consistent excellence and dedication specifically emerging from someone at this particular point in his career, years into an already accomplished journey with BTS, rather than representing the kind of intense, almost desperate effort you might expect from someone earlier in their career still trying to prove themselves or establish their reputation. Having this level of sustained, consistent dedication persist even after achieving this level of established success and recognition speaks to something genuinely admirable about his fundamental relationship with his craft, suggesting that this commitment stems from genuine passion and respect for performing itself, rather than simply external pressure or a need to prove himself to skeptical audiences. Let's think about how this specific quality connects to the broader emotional arc of BTS's entire comeback story this year, following their return from military service and the significant period of individual separation that preceded this current touring cycle. There's likely genuine additional meaning and motivation behind this consistent, maximum effort approach specifically during this particular comeback era, reflecting perhaps a renewed appreciation for the opportunity to perform together as a complete group again, following that extended period where this level of collective activity simply wasn't possible. Let's wrap up by recapping everything we've discussed today regarding this genuinely heartwarming observation from V about Jimin's consistent performance dedication. According to content shared and documented by fans, V spoke about how Jimin consistently gives 110% of his energy whenever he's performing, with the broader sentiment being that this level of maximum effort and commitment represents an already well understood, accepted fact among the members themselves. This observation connects meaningfully to the extensive pattern of individual performance excellence and dedication we've documented throughout this entire comeback year, from his World Cup performance, to numerous specifically praised moments throughout this current world tour, all building toward this comprehensive picture of an artist whose consistent commitment to giving everything during every single performance represents a genuine, defining characteristic of his entire approach to his craft. This entire story really does illustrate something genuinely meaningful about the kind of consistent excellence and dedication that's continued defining Jimin's individual contributions throughout this remarkable comeback era, validated not just by external fan appreciation or professional media recognition, but by the genuine, first-hand observation and appreciation of his closest friend and longtime collaborator within the group itself. It's exactly this kind of authentic, internal recognition that adds genuine additional depth and meaning to everything we've documented throughout this entire year regarding his continued individual performance excellence and impact. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you enjoyed this breakdown of V's heartfelt observation about Jimin's consistent stage energy and dedication, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update like this one in the future. Drop a comment down below letting me know what you think about this specific quality, and share your own favorite memory of witnessing Jimin's maximum effort approach during any performance you've been fortunate enough to experience yourself. As always, thank you for being here, thank you for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.